So today we have a Q&A session. So before I start with the Q&A, this afternoon I came to know about a nun in Indonesia, Siale Arianyani, and she helped me. With a group of Siales, they helped me with during the when I stayed there. I stayed there for the retreats. Yeah. So unfortunately, she passed away this morning or last night. Anyway, she's only 44. Yeah. Well, sometimes these type of things sort of like make us sit up a little bit more. Okay, let's go to the wait, hold on. Let's share the screen. Okay. Can you all see? Okay. All right. During few sessions of my sitting meditation this week, I noticed that there was movement on my face in between the nose and mouth region. It twisted and was pulling down and causing the corner of the mouth going downwards too. After that, the force changed and it pulled my face in the forward direction and my lips pouted. In the meantime, I noticed doubt was arising in the background. And I noticed that there was a sensation flowing down gently from my head down to the body. I felt like the body is melting down. After some time, the sensation changed and felt like small rocks and soil hit on my head and down to my neck. This time, I noticed doubt had become stronger and fear was arising too. And I was unable to pay attention to the movement as the mind refused to note it. I decided to note and label the doubt. After a while, I noticed that there was movement arise on my back. I moved downward and ended at my thigh. It moved downward and ended at my thigh area. The doubt grew stronger and stronger after each sitting until yesterday during the sitting meditation. When I noticed there was movement on the face, I was unable to pay attention to it because the doubt was so overwhelming. I decided to note and label the doubt. Later, I felt the body was sinking beneath the ground and the whole body was turning, and a sense of loss in direction, fear, and the urge of crying arises. In this situation, am I doing the meditation correctly? Should I just trust the mindfulness and note things as it is? Please advise. Thank you, Bhante. Okay. All right. Let's go to some of the sensation that you are feeling. Now, this type of feelings or this type of sensation, like pulling movements of the body, you felt that the lips pouted, or the sort of like forces are moving on the face area and the body area. This type of sensation, they becomes clearer to you as you keep on meditating. Even like day after day that we meditate, even a single hour, an hour a day, and once in a while, this type of sensation, it comes up. It comes up once in a while for some yogis. And even in the retreat, these things come up even more because of the continuous practice throughout the day. So these are actually very normal, but it is not normal when you are a beginner. These are not clear especially when you are at a beginning practice. It's only when you gain some momentum in the practice, then you begin to see this type of sensation start coming to you. And therefore, because you have not seen this before, and these things become even more clearer or overwhelming, and then you may find that you become difficult to manage them. And once you do not know how to manage them, the fear and the doubt may start to trickling in, and if you're not careful with the doubt, it gets more and more and become overwhelming, like what you say. So what should you do? Now, there are two things here we got to deal with this. One is that we deal with the sensation. Two is that we deal with the doubt and the fear. It doesn't matter how the sensation moves, It doesn't what happened to the body. As long as you keep on noting those sensations, then you are correct. The whole meditation is correct. You got to trust, as I said, you got to trust that mindfulness, as you put it there. You got to trust that mindfulness to show whatever the body is behaving, however the sensation is moving, and those type of things that you will experience for yourself. Those are uniquely for you, and pay attention to them as they arise, no matter how they comes. Once in a while, this type of sensation, as your mind becomes more stronger, this type of sensation, sometimes it felt like as if like it's going to move the body, or it's going to push the body. It may start off with something small, like your lips become pouted. There's a movement there. Sometimes for some yogis, the body starts to move left, right, or sometimes the fingers begin to twitch a little bit. Sometimes the sensations, bodily leg starts to move a little bit, pulling here and there. Some small sensation, some small movement will start to come up. Now, if this type of small movement, keep on noting it. Don't stop it yet. Don't worry. But sometimes this type of movement, if you are not careful, this thing become even stronger and it moves the body even more. When it moves the body, it becomes too much, and your mindfulness is not able to manage. You can still know them, but the mind is not easy the body is not settling down already at this time. If those things happen, that time you got to stop the body already. But this time the also one is a small sensation here and there. It comes in like sometimes it's dukkha, sometimes it's unpleasant, yes, but you have to keep on paying attention to it. Now, if the doubt comes in or the fear comes in, like what you said right now, so this time we need to tackle and we need to manage that doubt also. So here, what you should do is that you put all those things, all those sensations aside, then you note doubt. And sometimes when you notice this doubt become even more stronger, more powerful, because these are hindrances, they are defilements. And because of that noting also, the defilements or the hindrances, sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes the moment you stop the meditation, and then these hindrances become like very, very small. It is because of the nature of that mindfulness. It expands the object, whether it's defilement or whether it's sensation or whether it's rising, falling, right in breath out breath, it expands it to become big. Therefore, it looks very clear. And when it's connected with defilements or hindrances, that also become very clear, very strong. So when it's strong, sometimes we thought that, so difficult for us to manage, but actually it's just expansion of the hindrances. Nevertheless, in the beginning part, it's difficult for us to handle with doubt. Yes, the urge, the fear arises, the urge of crying arises, and so on. So that one, keep on noting also. Keep noting the doubt. Really note the doubt, and so on. Now, in just in case, if it's just too overwhelming for that particular sitting and you cannot take it anymore, mindfulness also don't have much at that moment of time. Perhaps what you should do is to get up from that sitting. Get up from the sitting. If there is a place, then do a little bit of walking. Or if you don't have a place or don't have a space for you to do the walking, then you do some standing meditation. Do some standing meditation. Be aware of the whole body. Feel the whole body as a sensation from the head goes down to the neck, shoulders, down slowly to the stomach area, back area, buttock area, thigh area, leg area. And then slowly, a few times, you just go up and down, up and down. Now, if you can able to do that, then you rebuild the mindfulness again. Rebuild the mindfulness again. Then if the mindfulness comes back, you felt that you are more or less quite okay, then you go back to the sitting again. Or if you want to do the walking, similar thing also. Be aware of the right step, left step, lifting, pushing, dropping. When you're able to notice that, after you build up the mindfulness for a while, then after that, go back and do the sitting. And when you go back to do the sitting, don't expect that all this sensation will disappear. No, they will still come back because of that clarity. But this time, because of the mindfulness is there, you can able to manage the sensation better, and the doubts will be less. Once in a while, it will start coming in, but still can able to manage him. So it all depends. It all depends. Okay? So as long as you build up the mindfulness, then this type of doubt will slowly go away. Or the fear also will go away. It's just that sometimes when you sit down, we do not know how to re-arouse back the mindfulness again. Another way, perhaps during the sitting also, maybe if you don't want to get up yet, then forget about the sensation, forget about the doubt. Then bring the whole mind, see whether you can or not, bring the whole mind to aware of the whole body. Take the whole body as an object. Now this time you divert the attention to the whole body rather than the doubt or the very small sensation here and there. So you take up a bigger space, take up a bigger area of the object, then mindfulness come back again. Now, if you can do that, that will be good. So these are some of the things that sensation come in. Every yogi will see these type of things, and in the beginning part, sometimes it is not easy for yogis to handle those things because it is not familiar. The objects are not familiar. But when you get used to it, then okay already. Okay, all right. Next question. Okay, Bante. Sometimes during the sitting, the body tilted slightly backwards. Then the noting became a bit difficult. The body experienced tension. Is it advisable to mindfully and slowly lean forward to ease the tension and continue noting? Or let it be and note the bodily tension, discomfort, and mental aversion? Okay, let's do number one first. All right. Now, these type of questions are when your body is moving, not moving. Sorry, this is not a continuous. This is tilted to sometimes to the backward. Sometimes some yogis tilted to the front. Some yogis tilted to the side. Now, this one, my instruction for this one, I have to see whether you are a beginner yogi or you already have some experience in meditation, in Vipassana especially. Now, if you are a beginner yogi, then my instruction will ask you to straighten up. They'll ask you to straighten up and sit properly. And sit properly in the sense that you have a cross-legged, then you keep your body more or less erect, but not tense, but erect. Sometimes for new yogis, if they are completely new, when you slightly tilt the body, then there will be sometimes the laziness may start coming in. When you sit up straight, then it's easier for the body or the mind to exert energy. And when exert energy, therefore, there's my condition for the mindfulness to arise. But when you slouch forward or to the side and so on, then it can be a problem. So this one generally is the beginner's instruction. But then there are some beginners also cannot sit straight because of the body problem or because of a leg problem, because of some problem. But there may be a few here and there. But mostly people can able to sit straight. So if you are a beginner yogi, then will be the instruction. Okay. Now, if you are not a beginner yogi and you have done a number of retreats, let's say, let's say you have done a number of retreats here and there, then the instruction will be a bit different. So this time when your body is slightly tilted backwards, or even the side, or even forward, now here is that you should not move the body to right of the erect position. When the body is tilted there, and let's say it tilted and it stopped there, kind of like a few degrees tilted, and you can able to notice it while you are meditating. If let's just only is it tilted and it stopped there, and then that time you should let it be, and then continue with your main object. Now, if your main object at that time, if let's say it's the rising, falling, you are moving right now, things are changing, and you notice that the body is tilted. So this time you have to keep the body there and watch the rising and falling. If you're doing in breath, out breath, also the same thing. Keep that body there and watch the in breath, out breath. You don't go and disturb the body and you try to ease everything. So therefore you have to keep it like that. And you keep it in that way and observe what is going on with the main object or other object which is predominant at that moment of time. So this is important. Sometimes as you say, the body sometimes when it tilted, it may feel a bit uncomfortable, and there's tension, and there's pulling, and there's mental aversion. That time you got to note those things. You don't just pull it away and then you try to avoid those little tension, little aversion. You got to pay attention to what is really going on. The whole purpose here to make sure that you see them as they really are, not what you really want. What you want is always comfort one. What you want and we don't think that little bit movement is okay. That little bit it accumulate into a habit. It accumulate to a habit, and after time, everything that's just a little bit tilted cannot must straighten. Then forward a bit, cannot must straighten. Sideways, cannot must straighten. I've seen yogis did that, in the past. Always sit up so straight, like you put the kayu there, you put the piang there, you put the bowl there, it's straight as the piang also. You can see them sitting so straight. Why? Because sometimes they thought that the sitting must always be straight one. No, this is a human body. This is not a pole. A human body, there is forces inside the body, and when the forces become clearer, it moves the body. Just like I talked about in the first the first question. When when there is these forces become clear to you, as if like you want to push the body a little bit here and there, and then the body gets tilted. It's trying to show you something, but because we think that sitting must be straight, then we push back the body again. Then here we don't see things as they are. Yeah, we don't see things as they are. Even that little tilted body or slouched body a little bit. Some people, you slouch a little bit. You think of yourself, don't know, after that, later other people look at me. I'm so lazy yogi. You see, other people sit so straight, I sit slouched a bit. Cannot. Then you pull up like that. Then that is not right. It's all your ego talking right now. Your eye is talking, but you are not seeing things as they are. So if there's a little bit of tilting, whether it's go to the side, whether it's go to the back, then it's okay. As long as it does not affect your noting mind. As long as it does not affect your noting mind. Now, there will be another case that if you find that the body tilted even more, even further, and that time when it tilted so much more further, and it really affects the noting already. That means your restlessness starts to come in, or your your whole body is already distorted, and so on. Somehow or another, you know that particular position, you cannot able to maintain some degree of mindfulness, then only you make an intention to straighten up the body. Then you make an intention to straighten up the body in order to continue that mindfulness. If that tilting is a little bit here and there, and it's not affecting your mindfulness, not noting your noting mind, then you remain it there. So the principle is like that. So you have to see. Sometimes even in the sitting, although these are the principle, but there are a lot of gray areas. So it is there, you've got to make their decision. It is there, you've got to make a decision that when, sometimes for example, the body sometimes it tilted a little bit, sometimes it's so minute. Sometimes you open up your eyes, you thought that you'd go very far, but actually there's nothing much at all. But in the sitting, it felt like it's so big. During your eyes closed, you're in your mindfulness, it felt like everything is so, you have gone very far. But when you open up your eyes, actually there's hardly any movement at all. But the mind can expand all these things. So you have to make your observation at that particular sitting and that particular situation, whether you should move it or not. If you can able to bear up with the tension, bear up with the mental aversion, you still can able to note them, then note them. It's perfectly all right. And when you do this way, later on, when your mindfulness gets even more better, then you begin to see there are many conditions that come in that's connected with that small little movement of your body. Right now, you may not see where the conditions come from, but later when your mindfulness even more sharper, you can begin to see all the conditions coming in, how this tilting of the body is caused by all these conditions. And then it becomes interesting, even a small little tilting on it makes the whole meditation become very interesting. So, something like this. All right. Number 2. When we note mental states, there are always more than one state. All right. Example, when there is aversion, anxiety, there is also accompanying impatience, etc. And when we note wandering, thinking, there is also accompanying excitement, delight in the wandering. Usually we are told to note wandering. Can we note wandering, then delight, then greed, then finally delusion? Please explain. Okay. Now, it's true what you mentioned, that when there is a mental state, this mental state, they don't come in as one, they come in as a number of them, which is right, So, for example, when you are sitting, let's give you an example, a simple example. When you're sitting, then the pain comes up in the buttock area. Wow, very painful right now, and it's getting extreme already. As it's getting extreme, you try to not pain, and then after that, anger. Then after that, this thinking also come in. Thinking of what you want to, should I move the buttock a little bit or not? Should I get up from the sitting or not? Then thinking, and then anger, and then should I do this? All kinds of thinking starts coming in, and the aversion. This is part of the whole meditation thing. Now, usually we are told to not wandering, which is also correct. But the second one actually would be better. Then you see, when we are noting these mental states, and mental states changes even more faster than the body changing. The mind change even more faster. Now, for example, when you note this delight or you note this aversion, so initially, if the aversion is the prominent mental state, then you note it as it is, aversion. And after that, if it's changed to thinking or it changed to planning or what you want to do, then you note wandering. Then perhaps if there is a desire that arises, one thing that arises to get out from that sitting, to shift the leg away, to straighten up the leg, then you note desire. Because it depends on which prominent mental state is at that moment of time. Okay? And I said again, in the while we are meditating on it, this state of mind changes very fast. And then at times, our vocabulary, our labeling may not be as fast as the mind changes. May not be as fast as the mind changes. So sometimes we may not aversion that comes in. But the second one, we are not going to think about whether it is wandering or whether it's greed. We just note. After that, some familiar one, we put a labeling again. After that, not a familiar one, we don't have to put a labeling. Yeah? Although you don't put a labeling there, but your stretch of the time while you're noting on the different states of mind, there is a continuity of noting, and you are noting the different aspect of the mental states, and you notice its changes also in a way, and this is good, although you may not able to label them. So here the mental states are if you can remember, so be it. It's good. If you cannot remember, don't try to think about the vocabulary or that labeling and then try to pinpoint. Because by the time you think about it, you try to pinpoint, the mind changes another one already. So you got to think again. So that one you got to, if you can, sometimes just put it aside of too much of a thinking and just not like wandering, and then if after a while you do not know what is the name for it, you just not, and then after that, this is anger. Then after that, another one you do not know what is it, just not. It's perfectly all right. So here, you don't have to you go through not wondering, then delight, then greed, then finally delusion, because they don't happen that way. They happen in many different ways, like what you mentioned here. And finally, the delusion part, you cannot notice them because first of all, they are not there. No, sorry. They are there, but they are always invisible. And I said this delusion is always at the behind. What is in front is the aversion. What is in front is the delight. What is in front is the restless mind, the wandering mind or the delighting mind. These are the front. But the behind is always that delusion. But we cannot see the delusion. So don't worry about the delusion. You deal with one defilement, and if that particular defilement over, that means the delusion is also, by default, is also over for that period of time. As long as that mindfulness is there. So don't worry about just one way of doing it. The mind changes very fast, and you notice them as they arises. Sometimes with labeling, sometimes without labeling. Okay. Third one. Interesting. To overcome sleepiness during walking, can we apply different method? For example, walking backwards, if it works. Is this okay in principle? Walking backwards, okay. All right. In principle, it's okay in principle, but when you do it, it all depends. Now, this one also, I've done it a number of times or so. Not to say, I wouldn't say yes or no yet. Let me tell you my experience first. I've done it this one also. And it works. It's really worked for sleepiness. I can guarantee you that. I mean, for me at least. It's helpful. But the thing is that when I do it, there's nobody around me. There's nobody around me. I'm alone in that hall, and I do it occasionally when the sleepiness is heavy. When it's heavy and it's persistent for a period of time, then walking backwards. You try to be mindful with the walking, and then it's quite helpful. Okay? And I say it works. But as I said, this one, when you do it, when you are alone, it is good. But if you are meditating with other people, it's not that other people thinking of you, but other people, other yogis may come and disturb you. Hey, are you okay or not? Then they will come and disturb you. They will come and disturb you. Are you all right? I need you didn't help, Or sometimes they will ask. They'll inform the teacher, hey, Bante, or Sayadaw, we look at that particular yogi is walking backwards already. But last few days, maybe some problem already. Can you have a go and talk to him? Then after that, your meditation will be disturbed in a way, because there are other people think that there is something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you, because every now and then, also there are yogis once in a while they do it this way. And then it also creates another problem because they don't have their eyes at the back of their head, So they are not walking straight anymore. They are walking sideways to the side. After that, go to the left. Then while other people are walking, they're going to cut into their lane, Then they go into other people's lane and then they kacau people, disturbing. Then other yogis now will be walk, looking at it. Hey, coming already. You see, he's doing it again. So, as I said, in principle, it's okay. But when it comes to practicality, it may not be so okay. Because for a number of reasons that I've said earlier on, you may disturb yourself or you may disturb other people. And sometimes yogis, they really don't care, And then they really don't care, it kind of like affect everybody's meditation. So therefore, in principle, if you can able to do it far away from people's eye and you want to walk backwards a little bit, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. As long as you don't disturb yourself, you don't disturb other yogis. Then you do that for a while. This is one method that I use. Yeah. Now, even in the during sleeping meditation, no sleepiness during walking meditation, what you can do also is that you change to a slightly more faster pace. But this time, when you change to a faster pace, I mean going forward, not going backward, going forward. Yeah? Just like when you're doing a slightly more faster pace. Now, instead of paying attention to the body, this time again, walk paying attention to the whole body, Don't worry about the steps right now. Don't worry about right step, left step, right. Because this right step, left step is not going to work for you when the sleepiness is heavy. So what you should do is that again here, we re-arouse the mindfulness again. And re-arouse the mindfulness again, we take a bigger object. And the principle here is to take a bigger object, and while we apply it in the walking meditation, we take the whole body walking. Take for example, this time, you notice how your body or your hips are shifting left and right. Or you notice how the thighs from your thigh area, pelvic area, all the way to your ankle area. That the whole leg, except the steps there. So you take the whole leg and you see how the left and right is moving. And sometimes the knees, and you can feel the knees, sometimes you can feel the calf, you can feel the thigh. You sort of like make a variety of movement. Not sorry, a variety of noticing in the different parts of the movement of the body. It's like while you're walking, you just move the tension around to the thighs, to the calf, or to the knees area. Then you notice it for some time. Then the mindfulness come back again very fast. The sleepiness overcome. Number of times I did that also. It's very helpful. I find it is so helpful that I don't have to walk backwards anymore. I don't have to walk backwards because I can use moving forward, but using other objects other than the steps. And it's very helpful. A lot of times when we do walking meditation, we are only taught the steps only, right step, left step, lifting, pushing, dropping, all the steps only. But we forget that the whole of other parts of the body are moving. So in the same principle, in the same token, like in the sitting meditation, there's primary object and there's a secondary object. So too, like in the walking meditation, also the same thing. There's primary object, which is normally where we note the steps, the movement of the soles area. Then you have the secondary object, which is the above the ankle and right to the head there. There's so many parts of moving. So you can just choose one of few parts of it and then take note of them. Then the mindfulness comes up very quickly. And then that time you can overcome the sleepiness. Not only just sleepiness, actually with the aversion or with the restless mind, with all the hindrances, including the doubt, which is connected with the first question earlier on. Yeah. So something like that. Okay, in principle. All right. This is the third. Okay, then as we go to the next question. Next question, perhaps I'm going to have a hard time to answer. Okay. Bhante, number one. What is the purpose of life? How do we need to make use of this life and for a better future life? Okay. All right. Number two. During listening to Bhante's Dhamma talk, I have no patience and anger arose. I wish to tell Bhante, by body, speech, and mind, if I have done wrong intentionally or unintentionally, please Bhante forgive me. Thanks, Sadhu. All right. Okay, for the number two, apology accepted. No problem. Yeah. And also, if I have to speak anything that is offensive to any one of you, then also I ask for forgiveness too. But then just talk about this forgiveness a little bit. Sorry, this forgiveness, being sorry and so on, of something we have done wrong. Different culture have different way of expressing this thing, and especially we are as the monk. I think a few years ago when I went to Burma, this trip, together with Saidon Nyanaponika, the late Saidon Nyanaponika. Yeah. And then on a certain occasion, I knocked something down, and then I said sorry. I mean, it just naturally come out from us to say sorry. I apologize for the blunder. For the accidental knocking of the things down, and the devotee, the Burmese devotee, says, "Bante, Bante. Monks are not supposed to say, you cannot say apology to the lay people. Monks cannot say sorry to the lay people." Yeah. I'm not sure whether this is anything to do with the Vinaya or not, but so far I have not read it. But then again, with this type of culture, with this type of Burmese culture, with the, when they place monks in a very high position, then when you say, sometimes you say sorry, you kind of like you bring yourself down to the lay people's level, So to them, this is unacceptable. Monks, or this one is always on the top, like on the pedestal like that. You got to put them on the pedestal like that. But of course, it is good and bad now. In that culture. Anyway, just to give you a bit of these things. But to me, I'm not that type of thinking. Anyway, this is on number 2. Okay, let's go back to number 1. What is the purpose of life? How do we make use of this life for a better future life? I mean, this question is going to be a bit difficult for me when you ask me what is the purpose of life. For all of us, or many people in this world, and then their purpose of life is very different. You see, when you ask me how to make use of this life for a better future life, my question is, my question will be how to make use of this life so that I do not have a future life. That will be my question. I'm more concerned of that, so that we don't have a future life. So what should I do in this life? That will be my purpose. That would be my purpose, And for you, it can be like, oh no, that cannot be. Future life is still very open and very interesting and very exciting, and we do not know what's going to come and everything. We look forward for it, kind of like a better future life. Actually, honestly, the future life is all the same one. It's keep on repeating. Whether you like it or not, it's all keep on repetition again and again. You think you're going to have a better human life? Yes, you're going to have a better human life, a bit more rich, but you still fall into sickness, death, aging, old age, and so on. You think you go to a Deva plane, the Deva realm, and then you play, and then after that you come back again, you're reborn in an animal, then you suffer. You come back the same thing on a future life. So to me, I don't think of those things. But of course, with my understanding and your understanding, maybe we are all different, and we can accept that. Yeah? Now, this type of questions, last time, many years ago, before I was a monk, and that time, a Reverend Visuddhacharya, if some of you may have known him, and right now he's no more a monk, he's in Europe right now. And when he's staying up in the hill, I met with my another friend, which is a kapiya for me, Brother Tan Ket Ho, but he also passed away. He already passed away. But anyway, both of us, and sometimes in the weekend, we will go up to Reverend Visuddhacharya's kuti, up in the mountain in Penang. And we spend a night We spend the night, and sometimes we debate and talk about the Dhamma. And one of the things that this Reverend Visuddhacharya, he loves to talk about the philosophy of life. For example, what is the meaning of life? How do we live and how do we die? When he asked me this type of question, my mind goes blank because I have no inclination in thinking about philosophy of life and all these things. So this type of question I usually avoid. I'm more of a practical person. For example, what's the purpose of life for me? My purpose of life is very simple. If I told you that is to end so that we don't have a future life. Then when I have that purpose, then what do I do with it? Then it all comes down with the Buddha's Dhammapada of avoid evil, do good, purify the mind. In a nutshell, we do that. Although we have this avoid evil, do good, purify the mind, to all of us, although that 7 words, it looks the same, but to all of us, we take it in a different level. We take it in a different level. To me, I want to take it this avoid evil, do good, purify the mind all the way, as far as I can go in this very life. That's why I become a monk. I become a monk not because I have a girlfriend problem or jilted by some girlfriend, or you see those melodrama in all the movie, and that one all nonsense. Mine is very clear. Mine is very clear that there is a purpose, which the Buddha said, and I want to develop those purpose in the best way as possible. And I know that being a lay person, you can develop with a certain limitation only. With a certain limitation that you can do, because you have a career, you have a family, you have this and that. So your time will be very little. So for me, I don't want to be bogged down by all these things. So become a monk. Become a monk in order to develop these things much more further, and in order to achieve what the Buddha mentioned in this very life. And I don't think about the future life. If I do this life, whether there's future or none, that will be up to my development, really. So my purpose is very clear. It's very easy. You give me I know the purpose, and then I put everything into practice. And then I don't go and what is life and what is death and this type of things. I don't go and think about all those things. It's not my inclination to do that. There's some people want to think about that. It's perfectly all right. It's still wholesome, not to say it is unwholesome. It's still wholesome in a certain way. But you as a lay person, then that will be a bit more difficult. Because sometimes our purpose can be connected with greed, hatred, and delusion. So hopefully, your purpose in your life has less greed, less hatred, and less delusion. I do not know what you want in life, but whatever that you want in life, make sure that purpose has less greed, less hatred, less delusion. And then you have a clearer understanding of life. Then with that, and as a Buddhist also, then at your level, you try to avoid as much unwholesome as you can. And then you develop a more and more wholesome deeds as much as you can. And then also at the same time, when there's time, purify the mind. That means go into a meditation. If not, we can talk and talk and talk and talk. Then it will not be this one. It will not be. Concrete now. So the thing is that you got to put it into practice. You put it into practice, and you will see in years to come, you will start to change if your life permits. Not like our life just cut off here. If our life permits, then we do as much as we can. Avoid unwholesome, avoid evil, do good, purify the mind. Yeah? Okay? So this is something that perhaps I can share with you. You can be wealthy, not to say you cannot be wealthy. If you want to be wealthy, can your wealth connected with less greed, less hatred, less delusion? Yeah. If you want to provide for your family, which is good, can you have less greed, less hatred, and less delusion when we do that? Can you have whatever you want to do? Okay, something like that. Next question. What's the time now? Oh, 9:52. Okay, next question will be interesting. Oh, no, not this question yet. This question is a bit long. 3 types of wisdom. Learned, Sutamaya Panya, reasoned, direct seeing. That we talked about Monday, Tuesday on last week too. Now, I'm confused about the use of number 2, thinking, and number 3, wisdom during meditation. Last Wednesday, you thought that a good yogis must know how to arouse wisdom if he wants to progress in this mental cultivation. Based on my limited understanding, real wisdom cannot be aroused. It will just pop up naturally on its own when the conditions are right. Conditions such as if there is right practice of sila, samadhi, panya, the path, and if one's faculties are balanced. In short, wisdom will come when it will come, when you are ready. It cannot be directly aroused. So if a yogi is to arouse wisdom, as you say, are you referring to the preliminary stages of meditation, to number 2, where beginners may need to resort to some thinking in order to make sense of what is going on in their heads? As a beginner yogi, I feel that this is a case with me, but I do not know whether this is correct. Okay, let's go back to number 1. All right. Now, understand. Okay. Now, your question here is that you're confused between number 2 and the 3, which is not only you, but many people also confused. They do not know there's 2 and 3 also. Especially the third one. The 2 one, they have a lot. Thinking one, they have a lot. The cognizing one, they have a lot. But the direct seeing one, very less. And because of less, they do not know how to jump into number 3. They always stay with number 2, which is a lot of people have that. Now, your question is based on my limited understanding. Real wisdom cannot be aroused. It will just be pop up naturally on its own when the condition is right. The condition as such as this and this and this, okay? In short, wisdom will come when it will come, only when you're ready. It cannot be aroused. You are actually contradicting yourself. You say that wisdom cannot be aroused, and you say that when the conditions are right, then it will come. Okay? You are contradicting. Do you know that in a way that you are contradicting yourself? The whole purpose not the whole purpose. When I talk about the wisdom and how to arouse this wisdom, as I said, when we arouse this wisdom, is that we set the condition for it to be right now. We have to have that condition in order for the wisdom to arise. Of course, it will not pop up, just sit there and you do nothing and then pop, everything come up. No, cannot. All the wholesome faculties needs its condition. Even mindfulness also needs the condition. All right? The mindfulness also needs its condition for it to arise. So too, this wisdom factor also the same thing. It needs its condition. And we got to make as much of that condition to be right in order to arouse it. Therefore, as I said, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. This is one of the conditions. You need to keep quiet. You don't get involved in the electronics things, or on Wednesday I said you'll be away from your loved ones. These are conditions. This is some of the conditions. Okay? Of course, I also I mean, this is still under Noble Eightfold Path. We expect that the Sila, Samadhi, and all those, the Sila thing you have done already, you know. We are talking, we are still under the Noble Eightfold Path. We are not disconnected. The five faculty is not disconnected with the Sila. Although I didn't mention those things, because if I keep on mentioning those things, then it become jumbled up, and then you do not know the understanding of the faculty. So I put away the Sila for the time being in order to discuss on the faculty, in order to discuss on that wisdom. But does not mean that in the big picture, we disconnect the whole Sila. You know, it's part of the whole connection. It's part of the whole Samadhi too. So therefore, when the wisdom to arise, you need the faculty to be balanced. And the faculty to be balanced, you need to keep on right step, left step, lifting, pushing, dropping, rising, falling, in breath, out breath, not. Then these are the condition. If you don't do that, when is the condition is going to come? You don't put in the effort, when is going to come? Real wisdom cannot be aroused. No, real wisdom can be aroused if you know the way. And the ways here is being taught by the Buddha. And with the thought by the Buddha, in principle, we put it into practice with our understanding, with our experience, we share it with all of you. And it can be aroused. It's not to say that it cannot be aroused. You are saying it correct. You need the right conditions. The right conditions, that means you've got to make the effort, you've got to do this, so many things. Then the real wisdom, it arises. This paragraph also, not, there are people with that I met many years ago, 20 over years in a kind of like in a discussion, online discussion, you know. Not of course there's no Zoom. This is only typing down, you know, to and fro. There are people with Abhidhamma knowledge. At one time discussing with them, that they don't believe that you should do sitting meditation or walking meditation and any form of meditation. Because they would say that the wisdom or the mindfulness will pop up on its own. And they are Abhidhamma scholars. They can debate with you Abhidhamma, so many things are Abhidhamma, but when they come into practicality, it says that if you do sitting meditation, if you do walking meditation, then who is doing the walking meditation? Who is doing the sitting meditation? Then it's I. I do the walking meditation. I do the sitting meditation. If there's an I, then your meditation is wrong. Then if you are not a meditator, if you are a thinker, then you say, yeah, just because everything got I, everything got I, so I should not do the meditate, I should not do the walking, I should not do the sitting. They advocate it to their own fellow Abhidhamma scholars, you know. Then sometimes I debate with them with this type of things, you know. But then after that, I give up on them. How are you going to convince them? Because everything is still there's I. Even though the Buddha, before they become a Buddha, he's a Bodhisattva, also there's I. How he breaks the I? Sit down and don't do anything. No, you have to do something, but you must know the right way of doing it. Then you can only slowly break the self and all these things. And here also the same thing. Real wisdom can be aroused. Not to say cannot be aroused. We've been doing it again and again and again and again, and the yogis keep on developing, and they can see it for themselves. So it can be aroused. So if the yogi is to arouse wisdom, as you say, as a premier, beginners needs to resort to some thinking in order to make sense in their head. As a beginner, I feel that's the case with me. Now, this one is, again, I understand, because a lot of us want to make sense of what we are doing in the beginning part of our meditation. But as I said, in the beginning of the meditation, a lot of things, it's very dark and gray area. As if like we are going into a jungle, and you have to go through that jungle. and you do not know where you are, you need the guide to help you to walk on that a certain particular path to cross over. The trees are everywhere. You do not know where you are. There's a stream here, there's streams, and you're passing through a number of streams. You go through up the hill, down the hill, and you're still in the jungle. But the guide will keep you, hey, don't go this way, don't go that way, go this way, go that way, keep on moving, keep on moving, keep on moving, until you come out from the other end and you're free from it. So in the meditation also something like that. Sometimes we cannot make sense head or tail. We can give you some idea a little bit, but nevertheless, you still ang bong bong inside there. You still do not know what's going on. You still mong cha cha. That is what is happening with a lot of meditator. So therefore, you don't have to make too much sense of it. All you need to do is to make sure that you pay attention to your object. You got to put that thinking aside. If not, when you want to make sense of everything, then that making sense of everything, it will slow you down. It will slow you down. This paragraph, this problem, I've too, and also many yogis also in the beginning part, we want to make sense of what you say because we are thinkers. We want to think, we want to know. But again, I have to trust. I keep on trusting the teacher to develop, to put in the mindfulness, to put in the effort, to put in, and then as it develops, things getting clearer and clearer. So here in the beginning part, here the thinking, you got to put it aside a little bit. You got to put it aside a little bit. Only when you keep on paying attention to what is going on, then it really comes in. I know there's a lot of questions there. I know. You got to put that question aside. You got to trust the noting there. Hopefully you get what I mean. Because I know it's difficult for many people. Difficult because of we want to make sense of what is going on with our practice. Okay. Number 2. Similarly, if I am understanding correctly, you mentioned that the yogi should not be thinking about the 4 elements while meditating. I get important bare awareness is for if there is no bare awareness, we cannot see the Dhamma. But what is thinking during walking meditation? During walking, I paid attention to my feet. I noticed lightness, earth element, comfort, and then liking arose. The next moment, the same object arises, suddenly become hard. I was puzzled, wondered why, noted the change, accepted it, then moved on to the next object. At times too, I noticed there's more pressure on the left ground than in my right foot. Is this that there was some element of thinking? Is this considered thinking? Yes, it's considered thinking. Now, why I'm saying that this time you see your second paragraph of that thinking is just a little bit and it's not a problem. That means you notice a lightness, then you notice, okay, this is of an element a little bit, but then you see you already notice the next object already. You notice a heart pain, pressure pain, you notice a movement of the leg and so on. That means you are not dwelling in the thinking so much, then it's not a problem. And it is in thinking, but it's a small amount of thinking. Okay? But what I'm saying is that your first paragraph there about the 4 elements, there's some people, there are some yogis completely stop the noting aspect of it now. And then they stop. They notice, for example, they notice the lightness, as you mentioned in the second paragraph. Notice the lightness. The moment he noticed the lightness already, he stopped noting already. Because then he go into the thinking, okay, now this one most probably I think is the earth element. Now, if the earth element is there should be also fire element, wind element, this element. And then after that, he bring in, there must be derived materiality, and then he starts talking about where is the tangible object, where is the sensation, and all these things. It makes things become complicated. Then it stops the noting. It doesn't follow through anymore. It goes into thinking. That one is what I meant by thinking. A lot of thinking. But your little thinking here, it is okay. You just note the lightness, comfort, and all that thing. It is perfectly all right because there's a continuity a little bit, although there's a small little break here and there. Understandable. But you keep on noting later on. Even, for example, if you are a meditator and a beginner part, if there's a labeling also, the labeling part also is a form of a thinking also. But that thinking is helpful because it directs the mind to the object. For a beginner, sometimes the mind it's difficult for the mind to be directed to the object. Instead, if you don't do the labeling, the mind goes easily into all kinds of thinking. Looking here, hearing here, do all kinds of thinking except paying attention to the lifting, pushing, dropping, or lightness, hardness, softness, those things. So the labeling is like a pointer, like a laser pointer. Point to that object and then the attention goes to that object. Okay? So there's a small element of thinking, of labeling. And those are helpful. Those labeling especially, they are helpful. But the thinking about the big things and you continue the thinking, that is unhelpful. That will be it will help you to stagnate your practice. So if you are doing number 2, that is perfectly all right. That is perfectly all right because there's a continuity of the noting from one object to another object. Although in between here and there, there's a little bit of small thinking, then it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Okay? All right. Oh, next question. Kuya, I have fear of dead body and ghosts. How to overcome this fear? Does Sotapanna still have this fear? Thank you. Okay, let's Sotapanna, we had this fear. Sotapanna still have this fear, don't worry. You're not far from anywhere yet. No? Sotapanna still have this fear about dead body, ghosts, and so on. Yeah? Yes. Why? Because this aversion is not eradicated yet. Yeah. The aversion is not aversion or the hatred or the dislike and all those things. They are not eradicated. Yeah. Even Sakadagami also you have some degree of fear. But whether it's a dead body or ghost or any other thing, but the fear is still there. You know? So Sotapanna will still have this type of fear. So how to overcome this fear? What are you going to do with this sort of fear? Some people, even you meditate so much, sometimes you go to the dark places, no mumkaki. You're also scared of going. Or even go to a hotel room, yes. Sometimes you're afraid of checking into the hotel room. You need a company, you need a friend, you need whatever. Yeah. Sometimes even there's no ghost also, your mind create into there might be a ghost. Yeah? And sometimes when I stay up in the mountains, and sometimes they say that, hey Bante, if you feel that something pressed onto your body, you know that ghost, that spirit is trying to kacau you, is trying to disturb you, to press you here and there. You know? I said, yeah, I felt that thing, but I never seen the ghost, you know. Then come and show me and anything. Always I thought that those things are just, sometimes there's a change of weather, then you feel uncomfortable. That's about it now, you know. Some people say that they see these ghosts and all that thing. Even if you see, there are some people who can see. No doubt. I cannot see. I whether I want to see or not, that is not my priority in life, you know. So what can you do with this? What can you do with this as a Buddhist? Yeah. There are many things we can do. But if you are not a meditator, but if you are a nominal Buddhist, then what you can do is that you do some chanting. If you have some chanting, if you have some chanting, if you have Namo Tassa, if you know your 5 precepts, you chant. If you know how to chant a little bit of metta, also you chant. Whichever you can chant, you chant. chant and then you focus on your words lah. Then you chant already, Namo Tassa Yakum Jagotio, Bhagavato Arahato is still there or not? Namo Tassa, where is it right now? And then you focus on your words lah, focus on your words. If you're a beginner lah, if you do not know anything. So a bit of chanting is good. Or what you can do is that you recall something wholesome that you have done. You have done like offering that you have done, and non-killing precept that you have kept, and so on. Then here after that, you share some merits with the spirits and the dead body or the person who already passed away. Or if the spirits is there and so on, then we take note of it as it's just another being. It can be another being that is still in the state of suffering. And sometimes we go into their place, and then what we do is that we share merits with them. For example, when I go I go for walks and so on. Every time I go for walks, I talk to them, when there's nobody around. Then I talk to the beings. I'm just passing through only. I'm not harming the plants. I'm not harming the animals. I'm just passing through for the sake of exercise only. And may all of us be well and happy over here. May all of you be well and happy. As I walk, sometimes I do these things. I do a lot of metta whenever I go for this. Not because I fear them, not because I fear them. Because I come into their place. I'm using their place. I have to acknowledge that this is not my place. This is their place. They have been living there for a long, long period of time. I'm just passing through only. Sometimes we thought that the mountains is all us. We forget this is not our place. So we share the merits with them. We share our understanding with them. So dead bodies, sometimes, for example, when there's dead body, what we can do, another thing is that we can reflect on the dead body. Instead of fear the dead body, we reflect in such a way that this dead body, finally, it's going to be, I am going to be like this too. Whenever we go to like a funeral, a funeral, when we see the corpse or in a coffin, so it is dead body. Then we say that we are going to be like that too. And or sometimes we see a dead animal. Sometimes I walk, I see a dead snake, dead animal here and there. Then I say, yes, this thing also I'll be. I'm going to be like that too. Wherever or sometimes wherever I wish them, wherever they have been reborn, hopefully may they reborn in a better place of existence. May they be happy wherever they are. I share my wholesome good thoughts with them instead of drowning in the fear or drowning into the unknown. So I don't do all these type of things. Some people want to overcome this fear with amulets or some Buddha rupa and all that. To me, I don't need to do that. But for some of you all, you may want to do that. Perhaps it is appropriate. To me, it is not necessary at all. So it depends on each and every one of us. But it will be good when you want to overcome this type of fear or any form of fear. Use a wholesome mental state rather than rely on something or some tangible thing. Rely on something wholesome. Like metta or sharing of merits or chanting or reciting the Dhamma, or recalling our wholesome deeds or recalling our sila. These type of things, when you do, then whichever type of fear in the future, it becomes much less, and later on you can able to accept them as they are. Spirits ghosts. If you come to the hotel room, you go in the dark places, there's no fear because there's a mind of wholesomeness is there. Yeah. All right, that's it for tonight. Any more? Nothing. That's it. Okay. All right.